Joe Rogan Podcast, check it out.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Train by day, Joe Rogan Podcast by night, all day. What kind of laws do you have in Brazil in terms of like the language you're allowed to use on television?
I'm not saying there's like a government censorship about what you can say or what you cannot say, but sponsors and even TV stations and the media is very sensitive about everything because it's still a poor country. It's still Brazil is still a third world country. So we have a lot of people that don't understand this is comedy. What's comedy? So
right.
It was my duty to explain a little bit what was stand-up and kind of open a road for all of us. That's how I felt.
So you said 3 other comedians?
It was like 3 or 4 guys, yeah.
So who are these other guys?
They're still doing comedy in Brazil.
Yeah?
Yeah, they're still doing. They're still huge.
What are their names?
Marcelo Mansfield, Danilo Gentili, Oscar Filho. There was a small group of guys that we started doing it.
Brazilian Portuguese is such a beautiful language.
You think that?
I love it. It's like a song. It's like it sings.
Do you really think
Well,
that?
I've been doing jiu-jitsu for 23 years, so it's like, to me, that sound is like, it's such a cool sound.
What does Brazilians say in jiu-jitsu? Is that a word or something that they're still repeating that you know?
Well, I mean, porra.
Porra. Which is come.
Yeah, is that fuck or come? Which
It's
one is
come.
it? But sometimes
Porra
it's
is
fuck too.
come.
Porra though. Sometimes you say it like, damn.
Yeah, but it's come.
It's come.
Yeah.
But so that's funny because like that's like the word shit.
Yeah.
Like shit could be like, you could look at something and go, shit.
Yeah. Merda.
Like that's good.
In Portuguese is merda.
Merda. Okay. But shit can also be bad.
Yeah.
Like, well, fuck too. Like, fuck could be good or fuck could be bad. Like, you could stub your toe and go, fuck. Or you could see a girl with a beautiful body and go, fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But porra is the same thing.
That's so crazy, but it's cum.
Porra, it's
And it's
good.
cum.
It's like that big butt. Porra. But then you're getting a choke, porra. It was bad.
Exactly.
Yeah, I got it. It's the same thing.
Exactly.
It's exactly the same thing.
That's so funny, man.
Language is difficult, man.
Yes.
For me to speak in English, I was thinking about it. That black people has to stop using the N-word in rap songs because it becomes a trap for me at the karaoke. I was singing karaoke at the end of the song. This guy came up to me and was like, don't drop the N-word, man. But it wasn't the song. So what should I do? Not sing the word?
Right.
So that the language is something that is, I'm still like learning. It's difficult, man.
Well, it's very tricky. I mean, it's obviously in America, there's this sort of acknowledgement that black people were slaves for so long, they are allowed to do more things. And in particular,
I got it.
use that word.
Okay.
There's no other word like in terms of like a bad word about an ethnicity.
No.
That people use for themselves. Like a Puerto Rican person would never call himself a spick. In like a good, like, what's up, spick? Like to another Puerto Rican, they wouldn't.
Okay.
The N word is a very unique word. Like, there's no word really.
So
that
you
I could
cannot
think of.
say in any situation.
I could say it if I'm explaining it. Like, this guy called that guy a nigger. I could say that. But even saying that, some people wouldn't do that. I would never call someone that.
Okay.
But I will use it if I'm quoting someone or if I'm explaining the word itself.
Because to run away from the joke is even harder because you're acknowledging that that's a forbidden word. So that's
well. Chris Rock had one of the greatest bits of all time.
Okay.
That there are black people and there are niggers. This was his joke. But even for me to say that was a joke and to say it that way is dangerous. And it's one of the greatest comedy routines in the history of stand-up.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but a white person could never quote that joke. You can't do the joke. Like, if you tried to do the joke to your friend, like, you'd have to go, come here.
You gotta be
Look around. Like, Chris Rock is so funny. Let me tell you the bit. Like, you'd have to be really careful. Like, there's no way you could do the whole joke on a podcast.
No.
It's just you say the N-word too many times. People get mad at you.
That's crazy, man.
Racism is crazy. The fact that there's still racism, that's what's crazy. The word is just sort of like it's symbolic. It's like there's a thing there that connects it to the feeling of racism, even if you're not using it in a racist context.
Yes. So for me, I'm a foreigner. So I was never so aware of racism like I am now living in this country.
Yeah, racism is very mild, very different.
That is racism. I cannot say that there is not racism. Of course there is, but here it's like. When there's election, they even say how the white voted and how the black voted.
Yeah,
that's kind of weird because for me that's racism. You're like dividing people in races, and it's clear on TV. And sometimes you don't even stop thinking about it. It's like it's part of the whole thing.
Well, it's because the black community doesn't feel like they're represented, and they felt like they were represented finally when Obama became president, because finally we had a black president. But other than that, you know, there's a real distinction. Like with Obama, it was like almost universal. He was going to get, air quotes, the black vote. You know, but with Trump, I mean, or with anybody else, it's very tricky. It's a very different thing. They want to make sure that their community is being represented and that their needs are being represented.
I completely understand and I agree that there's some acknowledgement to make about the history, but at the same time, acknowledging kind of divides you a little bit as well.
Yes, it does, and it's also used as a weapon by some people that, you know, are not. They're not being honest. They're using it as a tool to divide people or to force their agenda through, or, you know, again, the real problem is not the words. The real problem is actual real racism. That's the real problem.